You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices on this Friday, May 23rd, 2025. Good evening. I'm Chris Palermo. Here's what's happening. Nye County Judge Michelle Fiori is pushing back, filing an appeal after the Nevada Judicial Discipline Commission voted to extend her suspension from the bench, and News 25 has the details on this developing story.
Nye County Judge Michelle Fiori has filed an appeal after the Nevada Judicial Discipline Commission decided to continue her suspension from the bench. On May 19th, the commission issued a revised decision to restore Fiori's $90,000 judicial salary, which had been revoked following her October 2024 conviction. Fiori was originally suspended with pay after her July 2024 federal indictment on wire fraud charges. After the October conviction, the commission amended her suspension to remove her salary. That changed in April 2025 when President Trump issued a full pardon, effectively ending her criminal case. Fiori has not resumed judicial duties since the initial suspension and remains under review by the commission as the disciplinary process continues. Her legal team has not publicly commented on the appeal. News 25 will update the public when more information becomes available.
More news now. U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance and Bitcoin are jetting to Las Vegas, and our News 25 Las Vegas correspondent, Maria Centers, now joins us from the city with all the details leading up to next week's event.
The globe's biggest Bitcoin gathering is headed to Las Vegas next week, and its keynote speaker is none other than U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance. This marks the first time a sitting vice president will publicly support Bitcoin, with Vance set to address cryptocurrency participants next Wednesday, May 28th. The VP's involvement in Bitcoin 2025 will occur 1 year after U.S. President Donald J. Trump spoke at Bitcoin 2024 during campaign season. Here's a look at what's to come during Bitcoin 2025, taking place right here in Clark County.
Unfortunately, in recent years, the U.S. government has foolishly sold tens of thousands of additional Bitcoin that were worth billions and billions of dollars had they not sold them, but they did sell them, mostly during the Biden administration. Not a good thing to have done. From this day on, America will follow the rule that every Bitcoin knows very well: never sell your Bitcoin. That's a little phrase that they have. I don't know if that's right or not. Who the hell knows, right?
Established in 2019, this year's Bitcoin conference is being held at the Venetian Convention Center and runs from May 27th until the 29th.
My administration also is working to end the federal bureaucracy's war on crypto, which was really going on pretty wildly during Biden until the election came about. About 5 months before the election, he became a big fan because he heard how many people were in favor of it and how many people love it and respect it.
The world's largest Bitcoin event involves 5,000 participating companies, over 400 speakers, and at least 30,000 Bitcoiners.
Under the Bitcoin administration, regulators strong-armed banks. I mean, they really did. They strong-armed banks into closing the accounts of crypto businesses and entrepreneurs, effectively blocking some money transfers to and from exchanges, and they weaponized government against the entire industry. But I know that feeling also. Maybe better than you do. All of that will soon be over, and we are ending Operation Choke Point 2.0.
Bitcoin 2025 is set to launch Code and Country that aims to combine policy, tech, and industry as the cryptocurrency continues to evolve.
This is a tremendous opportunity for economic growth and innovation in our financial sector, and will really go a long way. I think it's going to be a tremendous, we feel like pioneers in a way, of tremendous method of growth. And things are very much tied, and we want to keep it that way, the U.S. dollar.
U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance advocated for Bitcoin during his time as a U.S. Senator while representing the great state of Ohio. I hope everyone has a sunny weekend, and I can't wait to see you on Monday. Reporting from lively Las Vegas and shooting it over that hump to the paradise of Pahrump, I'm Maria Centers for News 25.
Thank you, Maria. Another great week of reporting, and big changes could be coming to your favorite takeout spots. Assembly Bill 244 is now on its way to Governor Joe Lombardo's desk after clearing both the Assembly and Senate. The bill aimed at banning Styrofoam containers for takeout food across Nevada. Let's take a look at the details.
Nevada is now moving forward with eliminating polystyrene foam food containers as the state legislature passed Assembly Bill 244, which now awaits the governor's signature. This legislation will begin to phase out the use of polystyrene foam, which is commonly known as Styrofoam, for takeout food packaging across the state. Polystyrene foam is known for its environmental drawbacks. It does not break down easily, is difficult to recycle, and contributes to the growing problem of microplastic pollution in natural ecosystems. This bill went before the Assembly on April 17th, and the primary sponsor, Assemblymember Considine, spoke about why this bill is important to pass for the state of Nevada.
Thank you, Speaker. Assembly Bill 244 prohibits a food dispensing establishment with 10 or more locations doing business in the state from selling, preparing, or providing food or beverages using a disposable foodware container that is made wholly or partially from polystyrene foam. A violation is subject to a civil penalty not to exceed $100 per day. Beginning January 1st, 2029, all food dispensing establishments will be prohibited from using disposable foodware containers that are made wholly or partially from polystyrene foam.
Are there any further remarks? Seeing none, the Chief Clerk will open the roll. Would anyone like to change their vote? The Chief Clerk will record the vote. There are 36 ayes, 6 nays. The bill having received a constitutional majority declared it passed and ordered transmitted to the Senate.
Following the Assembly's approval, this bill went before the state Senate on May 21st, passing with a 16-4 vote. If enacted, Nevada will follow several other states who already have banned the material, including California, Maine, New York, Oregon, and New Jersey.
Coming up, Senator Jackie Rosen is working hard for the veterans. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on.
Welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen is stepping up efforts to ensure veterans receive the benefits they deserve, with a special focus on those potentially exposed to radiation at the Nevada Test and Training Range.
U.S. Senator Jackie Rosen is demanding urgent action from the Department of Defense to address the lack of care and benefits for service members who were exposed to radiation and toxic substances while working at classified military sites, including the Nevada Test and Training Range. During a Senate hearing, Secretary of the Air Force Troy Mink and Air Force Chief of Staff General David Alvin were brought to the floor. Rosen questioned the officials on their outlook on the urgency of this issue.
I've heard from constituents who have served at such locations within the Nevada Test and Training Range. They believe they were exposed to radiation from our days of conducting explosive nuclear weapons testing, and in addition to toxins from burn pits, which disposed of classified waste. However, DoD does not classify the range as a place where exposure occurred, despite the Department of Energy providing a presumption of exposure for their personnel who served at these exact same locations within the range, such as the Tonopah Test Range. And because their service is data masked, these veterans can't even prove to the VA that they were ever actually stationed there. Imagine that. So all of this have prevented them from being able to receive the veterans' benefits they deserve. So to Secretary Mink and General Alvin, I have a little bit more on this, so if you'll be brief, will you work with me to ensure that this committee to ensure the Department of the Air Force provides a presumptive exposure at relevant Air Force locations, and where the Department of Energy has done so for their personnel, we want to ensure that those who serve there, currently serving at these sites, receive sufficient documentation to support their health-related claims, all while still being able to protect the classified nature of their service. Secretary.
Yes, Senator, we we take our health of our workforce seriously, and we need to deal with this issue.
Thank you. Department of Energy has. General?
Absolutely, Senator. I would say that I don't know whether the Department of Air Force can do its own policy, but we certainly would be within the Department of Defense policy. We need to work. What I need to make sure of on the Air Force side is if it's determined that airmen, past or present, are qualified for those, they shouldn't be restricted from that because of the process and the process of being the data masked.
Well,
that's something we need to work through.
I have a solution. So you've teed me up for my next question, because specifically, will you ensure, both of you, that your staff meets with my staff and the committee staff in the next few weeks so that we can ensure, correct this issue in the FY26 NDAA? We think that there's a fix for this.
Senator, obviously, I'll defer to my secretary, but I think this is something, that part is easily done, to understand that once they're deemed qualified, we need to ensure that our process doesn't restrict them because of our
There's a template there that DOE's been using for years. So
Rosen continued to question the officials, also requesting a formal response and proposed action plan in advance to the fiscal year of 2026 for the National Defense Authorization Act, emphasizing the need to end delays and ensure that no veteran is denied care because of their records being buried under layers of classification.
All right, lots to talk about in sports. Mikey has it. The Weenie 500 and the Las Vegas Aces have their home opener tonight.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports, and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. The Las Vegas Aviators are back to their winning ways, crushing the Sugarland Space Cowboys 16-3. Rematch in progress, with the Indy 500 taking place this Saturday. The Weenie 500 took place today. Oscar Mayer Wienermobiles took part in a race at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway today. The lineup was Chili Dog, New York Dog, Slaw Dog, Sonoran Dog, Chili Dog, and Seattle Dog.
It's going to be close. They're making the move. Slaw Dog making the move up the inside on the run to the yard of bricks and over the line. It looks like it's going to be the Slaw Dog by a nose. Slaw Dog win. And the closest finish in Weenie 500 history, Slaw Dog by a nose. Unbelievable.
And Slaw Dog, the wiener. Las Vegas Aces home opener is this evening at 7 p.m. against the Washington Mystics from Michelob Ultra Arena. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Thank you very much, Mikey. The important weekend weather forecast is coming up. More local stories. You're watching News 25.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. Here's Mikey now to tell us what's cooking this Sunday morning on Classic Country Breakfast on Ace Country Radio and streaming on Channel 25.8 and now on the new Ace Country Radio app.
Howdy. When I'm out having an excellent time, I like to take the Ace Country Radio app with me. You can too. Download it today. It's free. On the menu this week on Classic Country Breakfast, born on May 25th, Ernest Stoneman. We'll pay tribute to him. Also born on May 25th, Tom T. Hall. We'll pay tribute to him. Another May 25th birthday, Jody Porter. We'll celebrate him. In the Not an Oldie But a Goodie segment, the Cody Norris Show calls in to share their new single, In the Circle. Also, Lila Ford from The Voice will walk us through her blind audition. About 2 seconds into it, Gwen presses her button.
I know. Come down off your throne, leave your body alone. Somebody's gotta change.
What's going through your mind at that point?
Oh my God, that was insane because they prep you up until that moment. They're like, you know, even if you're not getting the chair turn, like make sure you just keep going. Like I know you're gonna be nervous, but just keep going. Like whatever you know. What they don't prep you for is like, hey, if you get a chair turn, you're gonna have this huge surge of adrenaline. So also keep going, like keep going. And so it was a really crazy moment because I'm like all nervous. I'm all nervous and like, or not like so nervous, but just like, you know, anticipating the moment. I walk out there and I sit down and I like finally I feel calm. I'm like, okay, I'm playing the song. I start singing. And then the second she turns around, it's like I'm back to square one again, where I'm like, oh my God, I have like this crazy blood flow, the adrenaline, the whole thing. It's like, but I'm like, just keep going, just keep playing, just keep playing, just keep playing. And yeah, so that was a really crazy moment because you realize in that split second that you've made it. You've made it on the show.
I'm making it brick by brick. I'm moving step by step. We're going inch by inch. I'm working it rep by rep.
My name is Lila Ford, and you can tune into Classic Country Breakfast this Sunday at 8 a.m. to hear my song, Brick by Brick.
News 25 WeatherCam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
That's a Lerner and Rowe weather cam, and the horses are just galloping around the Saddle West area here in Pahrump. Well, we did it yesterday, triple digits down at Harry Reid. Going to be a fantastic weekend. Will we come close to that again? Miss Roselle has your forecast up in a bit.
Weather is sponsored by the Nevada Dairy Farmers and the Dairy Council of Nevada, sharing the love of all things dairy. Celebrate the best moments with milk. Milk the moment. And the weather is also brought to you by the Ponderosa Dairy, Nevada's largest dairy, fresh from our farm to your table.
Well, good evening, Nevada. My name is Roy Rosell, coming to you from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and taking a look at Nevada right now. Up in northern Nevada, Fernley is seeing 80 degrees, Fallon is seeing 82, Carson City is at 75, Tonopah is at 81, Goldfield's at 84, Beatty is at 92 degrees, Amargosa is at 98, Las Vegas is at 96, and Death Valley is at 109 degrees. But here in the beautiful Paradise Pahrump, it's currently 94 degrees. The high today was 95. Wind blowing south at 18 miles per hour, humidity 8%. With sunny skies, the sun rose this morning at 5:31 and is setting tonight. At 7:49 p.m., the humidity rises up to 16% and the wind continues to blow tonight south-southeast at 17 miles per hour. Low tonight is going to be 65 degrees. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. Tomorrow on Saturday, we are seeing 88 degrees. On Sunday, 92, 91 on Memorial Day, Monday. Tuesday is 92, Wednesday is 96, 98 on Thursday, and for the first time this year, we are seeing triple digits on Friday at 100 degrees. You know what that means, Nevada. Make sure to stay hydrated because you can get sunburnt and dehydrated really, really quickly. Remember that sunblock? I didn't. Back to the desk. Here's Chris.
All right, thank you, Miss Roselle. Looks fantastic, and we want you to have a safe weekend, whether you're down at the pool or the fireworks safety site or at the Jim Butler Days in Tonopah this weekend. That'll just about do it for all of us here at News 25. I'm Chris Palermo. Make it a great Memorial Day weekend.